I've obviously returned from leave, and I know that that has caused some great anxiety in Australia, and Jenny and I acknowledge that. If you had your time over again and you had the benefit of hindsight, then would have made different decisions. I'm sure Australians are fair-minded and understand that when you make a promise to your kids, you try and keep it. But as Prime Minister, you have other responsibilities, and I accept that, and I accept the criticism. And that's why Jenny and I agreed that it was important that I return, particularly after the terrible tragedies that we saw late this week. I'm comforted by the fact that Australians would like me to be here, just simply so I can be here alongside them as they're going through this terrible time. And so do those Australians who I had caused upset to, and I apologise for that. And it's important that I think when you are confronted with these things, that you front up about them and you're honest with people, and that's what I'm seeking to do now. As we face these fires at the moment, I want to assure Australians of this, because I know people are anxious, and I know people in some places are rightly fearful of what is literally at their door. And the haze and the smoke and all of these things heighten that anxiety as you think about your kids and your family, and you can see the red tinge at night if you're close enough. But our fire services in Australia are the best in the world. And the response to these disasters, these fires, is the best in the world. This is a time when Australia should be very, very proud that we have the best resourced, most coordinated, best equipped fire services of any nation on earth. It has always been the case. Our government has always, and I have always acknowledged the connection between these weather events and these broader fire events and the impacts globally of climate change. It's one of many factors, as I've said. The drought conditions have certainly been a big contributor in terms of the dryness of the fuel load. There are also many other issues, as you would be well aware, and they'll all come under scrutiny as we prepare for what needs to happen next time. Issues of management in national parks, of fuel loads, issues of backburning and managing native vegetation and building codes and all of these sorts of things. But there is no argument about the links between, in my view and the government's view, and any government in this country, about the links between broader issues of global climate change and weather events around the world. But I'm sure people equally would acknowledge that the direct connection to any single fire event, it's not a credible suggestion to make that link. So we must take action on climate change. We are taking action on climate change. The time for argument is not now. That's not to say that there's no time to talk about important issues like climate change. Of course there is, and we are talking about it. But let's do it in a way that doesn't distract from the very immediate need of protecting people's lives, protecting their property, honouring those who are out there doing everything they can. And so I'd just simply ask people, particularly at this Christmas time, to reflect on that, to come together, to support each other, and to focus on the things that we need to do now. And on the other side of these fires, Australia will prevail. We always have. Australia is the most amazing country on earth. How do I know that? Because I see what's happening out there right now on those fire fronts and in the communities that have suffered terrible loss.